Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for February 20th, 2022, with your host, BSBigger2448 and Ron Epsilon.
Hi. For those wondering what happened, my mouse decided to spaz out for a hot second there.
Well. So, yay, we have more Kuuga!
We have more good the show.
Yes. Also, Revice continues to be good. I've seen the episode for the week.
I have not yet. No spoilers.
I think the only major thing from the episode is end of episode reveal. Yeah. Yeah, only major thing was end of episode reveal. Otherwise, it was just a good episode of the show. Also, that Saber V Cinema is out subbed. I have not seen it. I have read what happens in it. So you know how Saber's not the greatest, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if we added a really stupid time travel mechanic, kind of, sort of, maybe?
Hey gamers,
Huh.
What if we also implied that people died at some point in this show, and people are mad about it, and we're supposed to care that they are mad about it? What I'm getting at is it's not good. I don't know if I want to watch it unless a podcast I'm following is reviewing it, and then I will watch it just so I can know what happens in this specifically. I don't think these cinemas are good.
What gave you that idea?
I don't know how, I feel like more than half of these aren't the greatest. Maybe it's a good thing we never got an O's or Forza V Cinema. Or a Wizard one.
I mean, fair.
Well, I say that, but technically we're getting an O's V Cinema. It's just the 10 years after one. So that one will be fine. Probably. I don't know. But anywho, Kuuga, it is episodes 9 through 12 this week. Any specific thoughts on them before we get into the recaps?
No.
Alright, then we kick off with episode 9, Siblings. So, a local truck driver has stumbled upon the Grongi's hideout, and then he made a noise, and then he was immediately murdered. Good to know. The next day, we're catching up with Godai, as he once more shows the Kuuga emblem to Kazari, and he's like, I'm Kuuga! And he's like, okay. Whatever that means. Because no one knows that the red one is Kuuga at all whatsoever. Nobody computes that, because nobody decides to tell anyone that means Kuuga unless you are in the know already. Also, it's his birthday, and him and arriving Minori are supposed to go out to dinner, but Groggy of the Week's going to interrupt that.
Because of course.
Mm-hmm. So before that, Ichijo gives us a briefing, or is giving a briefing. We get details on these fancy gas grenades that look like dumbbells, like little tiny dumbbells. That are made from the smoke from a few episodes ago. That should hurt the Gronki in some capacity. Should. We're not sure exactly what they'll do, what it will do, but it will hurt them. And it's the best we have. Okay. I'm just gonna dunk it on them and just hope it doesn't make things worse. Also, like in a previous episode has said, the tracking dogs and police dogs flip the fuck out at the Gronki, at the smell of the Gronki, and they are like, nope, we're not dealing with this shit today, goodbye. One of them they have managed to train to be able to not flip the fuck out and can track them. So between that and the gas grenades, they hopefully will find the headquarters of the Gronki, because they have previous locations that they've been to, but they haven't been able to catch up. So they hopefully take them down in episode 9 of this series of 50. It's not happening.
I mean, wishful thinking.
Yeah. Over to the Gronki. We meet our Gronki of the week. I don't remember his name. I don't think he gets named in the episode. But it's Clown Man. It's Water Clown Man, because he's wearing a big dumb clown costume. You cannot tell me otherwise. He is wearing a clown costume. And he says he'll kill 162 people in a time frame they don't specify. I guess it's because that part doesn't matter.
I mean, not really.
He gets blown up like, what, the day after? No, same day.
Yeah.
Anyway, our scientist friend Nikita checks in with Ichijo since she wanted to see how the briefing went. Also, she slept at lab, and now she's having to rush home so she can spend time with her kid, because unfortunately she is a workaholic, and you can now see where her character arc is going to go, where maybe I should work less and spend more time with my kid.
Maybe.
Anyway, Godai arrives at Sawatari's to find out some more information from the translations. We have an incomplete one on technically the 4th form, but really the 5th form of Kuuga. All we know is that it is, I don't know if they said it was purple or not, but it uses a sword. It's the purple one.
I don't think it said purple, it just was sword.
Yeah. It is the sword form. It is also more than sword, but we'll get there. But it's incomplete. Also, Jean calls in to ask if someone can deliver his pickled plums to him, because he's got cravings for pickled plums and he needs them. So I guess Godai runs him the pickled plums, I guess. I don't know. Someone runs him his food. I don't know which one. But back at Pol, Minori, who's stuck there working on her day off because Godai is like, I need to leave. You go work here, please. Bye. I'm pawning my job off to you. He shows her the scrapbook he's got of Kuuga. And this is where, between this and the conversation later, we officially know that Minori knows that Godai is Kuuga. So she knows exactly what he's been up to. That's nice to know, since we always had that question with the original series. Like, wait, who knows? Either one of them is a writer? Because sometimes it feels like you do, and sometimes it feels like you don't. At least this show clarifies. It's like, okay, these people know who he is. These people don't know who he is. We follow up our Grongi. He ends up killing a couple of girls with his explosive tar thing he shoots out of his mouth that explodes on contact. So that is his method of killing. I call it explosive tar because that's what it looks like. I don't know what exact. I don't think they specify what exactly it is. They specify like a thing, like some ash that gets left over, but I don't think they specify the thing itself. But Godai arrives back at Pol at this point, talks to Minori about, she's worried about him being Kuuga and all that. I like to also point out, specifically, she asked him if he's okay with fighting now. Which implies he's not been okay with fighting before, which lines up with some kind of unspoken things about Godai's background that I don't think the show will ever get into, but it will imply the fuck out of. So it's nice that that's there. But Ichigo calls Pol and tells Godai Gronki's on the loose, so Godai has to run out. He does tell Minori he'll celebrate his birthday later once he's done with this. Meanwhile, our good dog friend has caught the scent of the Grongi and is chasing it down. While we check on Nikita real quick, she's hanging out with her family until she hears sirens off in the distance. Like, well, she's have to go do her job. Back over to the hideout of the Grongi. Rhino Man, as I'll call him, because I don't think he gets named either. I don't think. Does he get named?
I don't think so.
Okay, so Rhino Man.
Or no, he might. I just don't remember his name, because it was said once.
Yeah. Rhino Guy. Rhino Man. He's arriving and he's angry. He's like, he wants in on the game and stuff, but he's disqualified, I guess, because I think his tribe failed miserably, so the rest of you are disqualified outright. Goodbye. You just get to sit around on the sidelines and watch. But we check in Ichio at this point as he's at the crime scene, while Godai is kind of just running around town trying to find the Grongi. And Ichio and Nikita are the ones that discover the ash that gets left over by this tar. And Nikita takes it to give it a once-over. Minori ends up at the preschool she works at and then goes into work on her day off because she has nothing better to do, I guess. And I guess it helps to not think about Godai and his situation. I assume. We do catch up with Godai as he's fighting the Grongi and takes a direct hit in the shoulder from the tar, and it gnarls his shoulder pad. Like, they damaged the shoulder pad on the Kuuga suit. They don't do that anymore. They don't rough up the suits that much. But he tries to fight it, and the punches don't get through. So Godai is on the back foot in this fight as our episode ends there. We don't end the episode with Godai losing. We start the next episode with Godai losing, though, with episode 10, Finesse, or Fierceness. I thought it was Finesse, but it's Fierceness. I can't read. Reading is hard. So Godai gets beaten up by the Grongi because he's too tough, he's too strong, and he has explosive shots. He's got range. And Godai has no range right now. But unfortunately, he dries up because he requires to be wet in order to do his explosive shots. So he ends up leaving and sparing Godai for now. Meanwhile, the police have gathered around where the Grongi's current home base is. And they're just gathering up, ready to throw the gas grenades in and go in. Godai hears this once he gets his motorcycle back upright and turns it on. So he heads out to join them. The Grongi do note that they're surrounded, and they are not worried about this because the fuck are they gonna do with their bullets that don't hurt? Until they get hit by the gas grenades, and they're like, oh, this sucks. I guess we're leaving then. Like, they don't even bother to try to fight them. They're just like, oh, this gas sucks to breathe in. We're just gonna leave. We're not gonna bother stepping outside where these gas grenades are not gonna be useful. Because apparently they only brought 2 with them. Because apparently you have to be in a hazmat suit to deploy these?
Apparently.
That seems terribly effective.
Yes.
So they head out a back exit. Fortunately, our good dog friend picks up the trail and gives chase. But meanwhile, Saotari and Minori catch up over the phone. They talk about Godai. She asks how Godai's been, and Minori's like, oh, Godai's just been Godai. There's been no big change for him. She's like, okay, that's fine. But back over to the cops. Our good dog friend does manage to track down one of them. It's Rhino Man. Unfortunately, Rhino Man kills the dog off screen. All we see is a little bit of blood and his collar when we cut back. Dog friend is dead. I am sad. How dare you kill dog friend? I'm very glad you are dead next episode.
I mean, fair, yes.
But as we check back with Nori, she's with the kids. One of them asks where a book is, and apparently one of the other kids has it. And so this one kid tries to go get it because he's trying to act like Kuuga and tries to like pick a fight over it. And I think he tries to slap the kid with the book. And Midori immediately steps in, grabs the kid, turns around, and is just like, no. Like, oh. This is the bad influence, Kuuga, on kids of like, violence solves all my problems. But at this point, we'd catch up with Godai and Ichijo. He's giving Godai the photos of the hideout for Godai to look over. And he lands on the Etch and Sketchpad photo, thinking it looks like they're counting something. Which is accurate. Granted, it's only a guess from Godai, but I mean, what else would it be? I don't know what else they would be using this Etch and Sketchpad for. But Godai fills him in on the current Grongi that's out and about, and thinks he needs his new form with the sword. So he asks Ichijo to come with him to train. So they head to the police station to their gym and train with Singapore canes. Minori finds out that Godai's there thanks to Kazari, so she heads there. And then we see Godai training with swords, but Ichigo's too aggressive, can't get in, until Godai's like, what if I just tank it and then I just whacked him once? And that's what he does. He just tanks the hits, backs Ichijo into a corner, knocks the sword out of his hand, and then lands a hit. It exhausts him, but it works. So Godai has figured out the point of his new form. Without a vision. I don't know if that's a problem or not.
Maybe?
I don't know. Anyway, Minori and Godai catch up afterwards. She's worried about... What?
What?
Oh, never mind. Thought you were gonna say something. You weren't. But Minori and Godai are catching up. She's worried about Godai losing himself in all this power and stuff he's got, and Godai even admits he's scared of what he's capable of. But he's gonna push it on anyway because he's the only one that can do this, so he's got to keep going and just try to be in a good place as he's doing this. But Minori's happy hearing this, so she passes off some good luck charms the kids gave her to give to Godai, and he pockets. And I will say this, to this show's credit, those passes will show up again.
Or if it was
Like-
a newer show, nope, they would never be seen again.
Because I know they show up at the end, and I think they show up a couple times later. So these good luck charms actually stay relevant, surprisingly. But Godai at this point gets called in for the Grongi. He heads off, go fight it. He gets there, he transforms, and thus we get Titan form, which is the purple form. Except it's mainly silver, not purple.
Mm-hmm. So it's the
Don't worry
silver
about it.
form.
Yeah. But yeah, this is Titan. He gets the sword by transforming the throttle key of the bike into sword. I guess that's why the throttle comes out, therefore he has a handle to turn into sword.
Maybe.
But he just tanks out the Grongi shots, walks forward, and then just guts him down straight in the gut. Just shoves the sword right into the gut, because that's apparently the weak point of this Grongi, and just kaboom. So, yeah. By the way, that is Titan's standard finisher, is to just stab something really hard.
It is stab.
Mm-hmm.
Very
Yeah,
effective.
Grongi goes... Yeah. And for whatever reason in the Battle Red War games, it's the only... Well, I think it's one of the only forms with a counter? For some reason. I don't know why, of all forms, this form has a counter, but it does. Yeah, Grongi goes boom. That is the episode. How'd you feel about our last form introduction for a while?
I almost feel
'Cause it's
like
got
this
a-
one was a little too easy.
Yeah.
Like, I actually kind of enjoy the whole he has to struggle to figure it out kind of deal.
I
'Cause
guess it makes...
I kind of felt like that did better progression in my... Whereas this one just felt like, oh, he almost just...
I feel like I'm okay with it because by this point we have two other forms of, okay, we just need to figure out the translation and then we got the general direction of it. And we had at least the, it uses sword. I wish it was, we got the thing about, oh, it's the tank form first as well as the sword to go, I have to think this way. It's not the dodge form. It's not the reaction form. It's the tank form. I have to tank the hits because the armor will hold. I wish that was emphasized before the training thing, so that the connection was there with Godai going, this is what I need to do.
Yeah,
But,
because
yeah.
this just kind of feels like, okay, what made you think of that? It almost feels like this should have been a three-parter, but because they were doing two-parters, that some of that got cut.
Yeah. But still, good episodes.
Yeah.
Good show. Still. So, shall we hit the second half then?
I guess so.
All right, episode 11, Promise. So we start with a local teacher at a local elementary school. I'm going to say elementary school. I don't know what this school is because they never say. It feels like an elementary school, except it is very big for an elementary school.
Yeah.
But a local teacher there is in a rut because he's just not able to like connect with the current era of like students and parents and like the system. And he's just like, I don't feel my job anymore. I just don't know how to get back in it. That's all of the cold opening, folks. It's just a conversation with this random teacher that you have no idea why he is relevant in this show.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we will fill in the gaps quite quickly. Because when we come back out of the opening, we're over to Godai. He's up early today because he's getting the main dish for Pol Pol ready because he's got a promise to keep, so he's got to head out to do that. Apparently he's meeting an old teacher of his. 1 + 1 is 2. Godai is meeting this teacher today, apparently. So there's your relevancy. Also, a Rhino Man is here, and he's just attacking truckers who are stopping and idling because noise bad, I guess. Also, he has to be the most ineffective killer so far because how he kills people is that he gets them out, he puts them up against the solid object, and then he stabs them with the horn on his head. That seems incredibly ineffective.
Yeah.
Well, inefficient. And it's not even in the head. No, in the stomach. He has to bend down and, like, shove his head into them. Like, you could, like, there are better ways, sir. But after we get that established, we're back with the teacher. He's going through some old stuff. And he finds an old autograph book, I would say. Like a signature book, something like along those lines, is what it looks like. I don't know if that's really a thing in Japan, but But some of his students, like, left him a message, I guess from graduation. But one of them is from Godai, who promises to meet him on, like, today in the year 2000 after he has mastered 2,000 skills, or learned 2,000 skills. But the teacher sees this, remembers this, and is like, I guess I'll go meet him then. And then he heads out. Over to Pol Pol. Nada, who was in the previous 2 episodes, but I skipped over her because she wasn't relevant in the episodes, because she ran into Jean randomly. This is Kazari's niece. I was using her name for Minori, I think, last week, and because I'm stupid and I didn't double check to see who was who. Because of this new show, I am still trying to get names to faces when doing notes. But yeah, she'll be working at Pol Pol for the summer. Also, she is a Godai fanboy now because he's just so cool, I guess. She's barely met him and she's like, oh, he's so handsome. So yeah, she'll be fanboying over Godai the rest of the season. We do catch up with Ichijo as we find out that he's probably going to get reassigned to Tokyo, because that's where they're headquartering all of the task force stuff for the Gronki. And I forget the cop's name offhand, but the one main cop jokes about Ichijo's non-existent girlfriend. Because everyone thinks he has a girlfriend and he doesn't. And I will tell you right now, folks, he does not have a girlfriend. At all. He has a mom, but he does not have a girlfriend. I don't know why people think he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, that's That's a good question. I don't get that gag either.
I guess it's just like, you're a handsome guy. You probably got someone, right? I don't know. He seems like he works too much to really be social.
Yeah.
But we did check up with Sartari real quick as she's finishing up the translations for the main 4 forms. So we get the little blurb in Gronki about what each form is. It just describes them, and also, hey, fire, water, wind, earth. Now we need his heart. No one younger than us will ever get that. No one will. Well, they might, because that's been memed to death, but... Anywho. Jean checks in, and we find out that Mika is working with him at a nearby dig site, where I guess they found the thing that Mika's dad had. So, hey, Mika is at least doing positive stuff to work through her problems. Good. But at this point, Ichigo get informed of the attacks, and so Godai gets called in. But Godai takes the opportunity to drop by a phone booth to call Saratari and go, hey, I need you to head to my old school. Meet a teacher for me until I can meet him because of this. See you later. I owe you. So she's going to be going to do that. We do check in with the Grongi real quick, and they note that Rhino Man's acting on his own. This is not part of their games. In fact, the games are on hold for unspecified reasons, because they don't say why.
I mean, it's got to be because their Etch-a-Sketch went on.
Probably. Because we do see them get a new Etch-a-Sketch later from Mystery Man, who is also Grongi. By the way, Mystery Man is just another Grongi. I don't know why he's just like holed up in a back alley. Like, he is some black market salesman. I guess it's just his thing.
Apparently.
But we catch up with Ichijo as he arrives at where the police had the Rhino Man cornered, but he just catches the aftermath of them all dead. I'm going to say dead, because one of them just keels over in Ichijo's arms, I think. So I think they're dead. That or they all passed out. One of the two. But Godai does end up tracking Rhino Man down at a construction site. But before he can transform, fucking Rhino Man just charges him and just starts beating the shit out of him and just throwing him all over the place. It's like, you're not getting to transform! Ah! Like, damn. Godai. I feel bad. He just gets murked all season in this show. Every fight is an uphill battle for him.
Yep.
Poor guy. But in the middle of all this, the teacher and Saratari do meet up at a bus stop on the way. We also find out that the teacher wants to meet Godai because, like, if he remembers, it means that what he does means something, because it matters to someone at least, and like, hey, I can do good. I can make a difference as a teacher, but if not, what's the point then? Like, I might as well retire and move on and find something new. So that's why he really wants to meet Godai. But speaking of Godai, he does manage to get an opening to transform, and I have it here, but it's technically the start of the next episode. He tries to get a kick in, but it doesn't get through. It actually fails, which means that his rider kicks technically can fail. Because they have to, imprint the little symbol to work. So he does end up in the clutches of the Rhino, who just throws him up in the air so he will land on his head and get skewered. Again, that seems very ineffective and seems like it will hurt you as much as it will hurt him. Because that is a good 100 plus, like, body landing on the top of your head, sir. Your neck is fucked. That is episode 11, which takes us to episode 12, Teacher. Godai manages to dodge the attack by turning himself sideways and just grabbing hold of the horn and just ripping him down to the ground with him. Why I said it was ineffective. But eventually another one of the Gronki shows up and just drags Rhino Man off like, no, this is not how we do things. Get over here. You and me are going over this waterfall and you're cooling off. Goodbye. Ichijo catches up at this point and Godai's like, yeah, one of them just took the other one and ran off this waterfall. I guess they're downstream. I guess we should just see if we can find them. And we see Rhino Man ends up downstream, but he's like still angry and he goes and attacks another trucker guy nearby. And we see Minori meet up with Nana, and then Sarutori meets up with the teacher, and conversations abound on this. They're not super important conversations, so we do catch up with Godai and Ichijo in their search, and Godai, he's thinking about meeting his teacher and like what to do with this Grongi since Rider Kick failed. He decides, need to train. I need to figure out my Rider Kick. So he asks Ichijo to like go off to some park to go kick a tree a few times to figure out how to do his Rider Kick. In his human form, mind you, not in Rider form, which I guess it's a good thing he's durable outside of his suit, because otherwise his ankles are screwed.
Right.
Because he's not taking out the branch of that tree, he's just bouncing off of it. He heads out, does some training. We catch up with the Grongi as they get their new etch and sketch from Black Market Back Alley Man. That's Grongi. And then the teacher and Sarutori end up at the school. Unfortunately, the school is marked for demolition because I guess it's not useful anymore. But that's when Sarutori's like, you want to just hop the fence and go inside because fuck it. No one else is here. We got time. So they go in. The teacher reminisces about the past and how much things have changed. And is it bad that everything he says feels very relevant 22 years later? Like, damn. You are saying things, but it feels like, oh, this is still relevant 22 years later. I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure not. Ugh. But Godai manages to land his first test kick because he is using skill, I think he said like 178 or something. Like, he gave a specific number, and I guess it's to do a cartwheel or not cartwheel. Do a somersault or something? I can't think of the word for it. A standing flip. But he hits it, he checks in with Ichijo. Ichijo's being a part of the plan of, we're gonna tell truckers to not idle. And Ichijo's going to just grab a truck and drive it into the middle of this quarry and hope the Rhino Man finds him. Which he immediately does, because the Rhino Man is very angry and very fast, apparently. He just knows. So Godai's gotta go rescue Ichijo. But we check in with the teacher as Sarutori does the thumbs up to him. And this is when he remembers where Godai got that from. Because Godai got it from him. he taught Godai the meaning of the thumbs up, that it's like a Roman gesture, or just originates in Rome, and like imparting some wisdom to him. And we find out that Godai's dad died when he was young, and it was just him and his mom for presumably a long time. Until now, maybe. And maybe even not now, because it seems like their mom's not around, since it's just Godai and Minori, I assume. So, once more, that thing of, we're going to imply a lot of things about Godai's background, but we're not going to get into the middle of it. I really wish they would. But Godai arrives, he fights Rhino Man. He does get the better of him in the fight, and then he lines up, does his proper, actual rider kick, and kicks him directly in the head, breaks the horn, gets the glyph on, and Rhino Man goes kaboom. And immediately, barely checking on Ichijo, leaves. And it's nighttime by the time we catch up with Saratari and the teacher. And the teacher's like feeling better, like feels like his work is meaningful to something. And he feels like he doesn't have to meet Godai, but Godai drives up, hops the fence. The two of them exchange thumbs ups, and we end the episode there. We don't even see the full conversation after that. But I guess we don't need to, honestly.
I mean, true.
And that is these two. How'd you feel about, I guess, the least important two episodes so far, I guess? I don't want to call them.
I kind of felt like that was lackluster, but at the same time needed.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, we're getting like the smallest crumbs of a background of Godai, or backstory of a Godai. And we're getting the establishment of his rider kick, which feels like the important part. But it comes in at the end of this two-parter.
Yeah.
It's mostly about this teacher that initially are like, wait, why are we caring about this teacher? And then it takes like half an episode for you to go, oh, this is the connection. And even then, it takes most of the two episodes to realize, oh, this band's really important to Godai. Yeah, it's a good pair of episodes. Not the best pair we've had so far, but it's still fine. I liked it.
Yeah, I was fine with it too.
But I hope you're okay with it, because this is kind of the trend we're going, because we don't have any more like introduction episodes for a while. Because we don't hit Kuuga's like second set of forms until I believe the 20s. I will double check. It feels like it's a while. Yeah, we don't see another form change episode till 24, so buckle in. We're in for the long haul on just regular episodes of Kuuga, I guess.
Oh, no.
But any other thoughts?
No.
All right, then next week we continue forward with Kuuga, but between now and then, Wednesday we continue Prime 2. Thursday I continue Legends Arceus. Saturday we talk shop, including this presumably Street Fighter 6 announcement that's in like an hour-ish or so. As of the stream of when this was streamed, for reference. If not, I don't know what it is. That brings us around to next Sunday. So if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Chipping away that affiliate goal at TG Soon on Twitter gets you updates when we're live. Exclamation point, Discord, and chat. It's Discord link. Drop by, say hi. See you Wednesday, folks.